everyone. Welcome to the Pranic Healing Podcast. On this episode, we have Carolina Ayala. Carolina is a fantastic holistic life coach. She helps you overcome stress using the power of energy that allows you to live the life that you want and will manifest your dreams. Please welcome Carolina.
Thank you, Atma
Hi,
Namaste.
Carolina. My namaste. Thank you so much for taking your time for this podcast. I know that, we spoke a little bit about you being a life coach, and I think that's so amazing. And I think a lot of people don't really know what life coaches do. Personally, I have had a couple of sessions, and they've been really transformative. So I love that the content that you teach, and I think it's going to be a value for everyone. But the theme for today is about mindset. So I know we spoke a little bit about mindset, and mindset is so important, right? Because we speak about it in pranic healing, but also in the world of life coaching. That's also very important. But before we get into that, Carolina, can we just get a little bit more of introduction about yourself, who you are, how you got into pranic healing, and how you became a life coach?
Excellent. Yes. My name is Carolina Yala. I'm a holistic life coach. And in my previous life, I used to be in investment banking, and it was a really stressful environment for me. I love it, but it was stressful. So I decided that I need to change something in my life. So I moved from Venezuela to the US to do an MBA program, thinking that that will change everything. But I moved from one type of stress to another one, right? So after that, when I finished my MBA program, I was doing this search. I didn't know what I was looking for, but I was looking for something to help me overcome all this, to help me to become a better person, to be able to have a life where I can sleep well, that my physical body was not having all these issues, and emotionally I was happy of what in everything that I was doing. And then somebody introduced me to pranic healing, and that was exactly what I was looking for. When I did the first twin heart meditation, I was like, oh, I'm home. And after that, I learned about that and I started doing the transition from corporate to holistic life coach. So
That that's beautiful. Thank you for explaining all that because I think that your situation and your experience are a lot of people's cases, right? And unfortunately, a lot of people don't find that next bridge into something that they truly are passionate about, like what you're doing now. So I'm so happy because it sounds like it was quite the journey, right?
oh,
Investment banking from a whole different country in Venezuela to coming to US, do a master's in business administration. So that was quite the journey. What I know you said that you felt like you were at home. What does that mean to you? Like just because you said you did the meditation on Twin Hearts, which is the meditation pranic healing, but for the audience out there, we're trying to like, how did you feel? How did you know that this was the right thing for you?
I really, I didn't know what I was looking for. I didn't know what I was getting into when I was invited to this meditation. I was like, what is this? Should I go? Maybe yes, maybe no, what they're going to be doing. But once I sit down and just follow the instructions of the meditation, I feel this overwhelming inner peace. And it was like, ah, like you can make it. And that's what I was looking for. That's what I said. I got home. I feel like this will change my life. And of course, it did, right? And
Yeah,
that's why I got so passionate about it that I use all the pranic healing teachings into my coaching sessions. That's what
coaching. Yeah, and that's a nice segue because I was going to ask you how, chronic healers are known to be energy healers, but it sounds like in your holistic life coaching, you incorporate aspects of energy with the mindset aspect. Can you please tell us a little bit about that?
yes, in coaching, what we do is to find ways, brainstorming, like how I can overcome this situation in my life, or how can I become a better person? What are the different tools that are around that I can use to improve this challenge situation in my life, right? So what I do is I combine the regular coaching with energy tools that are universal and they are so powerful. Once you understand how to make the change, it changes your life, right? So mindset is really important because energy follows your intention, and the intention start in your mindset, how you perceive life. So if we're able to be more aware of how we perceive life and what is our intention in everything that we do, the results are magnificent. That's it.
Yeah, I love that because, for people that haven't taken pranic healing, we know about the concept of energy, right? I think Tony Robbins says where attention goes, energy flows, right? So this energy is basically this invisible force that is, whether you like it or not, is driving our life.
Mhm.
And like you've mentioned, when your mindset, right, when you're conscious of this energy and you're using it to, achieve your goals, manifest your dreams, it really makes things a lot faster, right?
Yes.
So can you just give us an example, Caroline, of what that looks like in practice, like using energy with mindset in your coaching?
Yeah, well, for example, simple things like when somebody talk to you casually, "Hi, Dr. Jason, how are you?" One of the common answers is, "I'm stressed, I'm tired, hanging in there." That's a reflect of your mindset because you are focusing on the problem, not on the solution. And if what you think you become, that's an energy principle, right? What you're saying is that I am stressed, so you keep becoming stressed out, right? So if you understand that, I'm not saying that avoid the reality is not, to try to, I'm not stressed out, right? But you can use better manifestation of your words to start changing your energy. For example, I'm getting better and better. I'm working on this. I'm improving. So it's the same answer, but focus on the positive side of the answer. Because if what you focus on, what you pay attention, it will energize, right? It will become bigger. Do you want that to become bigger in your life? That's the question, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's just we are just used to, because being stressed is normal for people. Like, oh, I'm stressed, like I'm okay, right? But it's not supposed to be like that. So the mindset is to start changing that. That's the reality that I want. Continue saying that. If it's not what you want, then let's start applying different positive affirmations into your life to bring that energy into you. Because we become like a magnet of energy. Whatever you say, you attract. So then you have to choose wisely, right? And
Wow.
that's the idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that that's so brilliant, Carolina, because what you're telling us is basically, whether you're conscious of it or not, right? Because a lot of people aren't conscious of it,
Yeah.
right? Like you said, you ask someone, how are they? And they're like, oh, I'm distressed. But it's like they're not trained, right? They don't understand the concept of this. And there's, following what society tells them. So, it's a very basic response. But it sounds like whatever you tell yourself or you tell others or you put out to the world, it's like a echo. It's like a boomerang effect. You send it out, and that's what your energy is coming out as, and then that's the energy you're getting back, which amplifies. So
Right.
I think that's so important nowadays because if just like a few extra percent of people knew about this, right? I think their lives would be so much easier in all different ways, right? And this is what's so beautiful because you can apply this in not only work, right, family, literally all different areas of life. Um, so that's amazing. And to just follow up on that point, Carolina, I know that there's a lot of tools that people can use to kind of help shift their mindset, right? Because a lot of people, they might know that this is happening, but they might not be willing to
Mhm.
do it initially, right? Especially for people that tend to be stuck in certain patterns or thought forms or habits, right? It's
Mhm.
so perpetual; it feels like it's almost a part of them. So,
Mhm.
what do you tell those people? How do you get those people to change their mindset?
Yeah, that's the part where I combine the coaching with the healing aspects. Even though people who come to me, they are most of them are pranic healers, but I have a maybe 20% of my clients are non-pranic healers, but they are open, right? So what I tell them is, yes, we're gonna have the coaching part, but at the end, I will do the healing for you. Why? Because everything manifests first energetically and then it will physicalize. If we are able to clean your aura, your energy body, then you will be able to make a change. So because they can see the benefit, they say, okay, let me try. And then they start seeing the benefits and they love it. And now, even though they are not pranic healers, they don't practice any energy healing technique, but they love to receive the healing. So that's it.
That's amazing, and I love how you can incorporate those types of people too, because it's sometimes when we practice one way, it's like, oh, we only can see these types of people,
Mm.
but that's the beauty in pranic healing, that you can work on so many different people, and it really shows, right? Because they're receptive to the healing. You brought up something very interesting, Carolina. You said that before anything materializes or manifests, it shows up in the energetic form, right? I'm just paraphrasing. For
Yes.
the people out there that don't understand energy or energy work, what does that really mean? Because that's very interesting.
Well, let's use a simple example, right? Anything in life that you see, let's talk about the computer. It was first a thought from somebody that said, wow, maybe we need something like this. And now, years after investigation, technology, and everything, boom, we have the computer, right? So everything starts with that energy. And that energy, many times, is a thought form. That's why it's so important for us to be aware or try to become aware of what are our tendencies, right? Are we more positive? Are we more negative? We focus on the solution or we focus on the problem? We always are complaining or we are grateful, right? Because that will give you an idea of what you need to work on. Because the seed, the first step is your thought forms. So if you're
Ah,
able to tackle that, then you can control what is the fruit, right? That you're
right.
after.
I love what you just said, because we reference that in pranic healing all the time. So
Yeah.
to recap, your thoughts are like the seeds, right? And they hold potential energy, and then the fruits are basically everything that comes after that seed. It
Mhm.
could be the emotions, it could be the words, it could be the actions. So, and I think that's such a beautiful way to look at it, because a lot of people, like I mentioned, it seems like they're identified or attached to certain thought forms, and of
Yes.
course, if they're attached to a certain thought form, they hold a certain energy around them, and like we said, with thoughts and emotions, there's energy around it. And with that, Carolina, I know you mentioned you do healing on them.
Mhm.
Without explaining the exact techniques, what does it mean to do pranic healing on someone with these negative thought forms or belief systems, and how does that work?
Yeah, yeah, it works like an energy shower, right? If you ask somebody, you say, "Hey, do you take a shower?" Yes, every day, of course. Why? Because otherwise, people they don't want to be around you because you're gonna be smelly, right? So same thing happen energetically. So how do you know that you are in a need of a spiritual shower, right? There are many ways, but if we're talking about thought form, is that again you are negative, complaining, you see everything goes wrong, right? So that means that you are dirty energetically. So what we do with the healing is to help you to remove that congested energy and give you new energy so you have the energy needed to move forward and to make a change because otherwise you cannot. It's like if you're driving and you have a dirty windshield, you cannot see. There is no possibility for you to see unless you clean, right? So what we do in the energy healing is to clean the aura. So you have this, okay, now I have the energy to do what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah. And thank you for that explanation, because I find that so simple, but we know it's so powerful, and not all energy healing modalities do that, right? Clean
Yes.
first. And I think that's such a important principle, like you mentioned. Instead of, before you wax the floor, you want to make sure you mop and sweep the floor before you put the wax on, right? Because if
Yeah,
you
totally.
wax or you energize, that dirt's going to stay underneath the wax. So I find it so, it feels like even like 80%, 60 to 80% of people get so much better just with the cleaning part, not
Yes.
even energizing. Like you
Yes.
said, we're just doing that energetic shower, cleaning out those thought forms, those energies, old thought forms that don't serve
Mhm.
us. And I wanted to kind of jump into that, because I know you work with a lot of different clients, right? From a lot of different backgrounds. Do you have like a story, Carolina, of one client how they came to you with a certain set of problems, and of course, going through your holistic life coaching, doing the pranic healing. Can you just tell us that journey and their transformation, just to give us an idea of what it's like?
Yeah, well, at the beginning, most of the people come with some hesitation because they don't find a way to measure energy, right? Or how energy will improve their life. So the first thing that we do is to try to find ways to measure that, right? In different ways. So we can also keep track of the progress. And then once they start seeing this glimpse of, oh, wow, I was able to do this. Oh, I was, I catch myself and, I didn't react the same way. Or I was able to have this conference that I was supposed to speak, but I was so afraid before. And this time I was speaking like, like not, there was nobody stopping me. So when they start seeing those small changes, they become a, they can see the benefit of the energy and they start to bring energy techniques into their daily life. And that's the goal. Because it's not something that is outside, it's something that is part of your life. So once I see that, that's the progress, right? So they start, oh, and I educate my clients that yes, we are working with challenges, but I also want to celebrate your success. So a small thing, oh, I was able to do this. So I get messages and, we celebrate together because that's also part of that energy.
Right.
And then people, there is a moment when they're able to go by themselves. Most of the time, if they are not pranic healers, they end up taking the classes because they want to know more. They want to be able to do their own healing in case that they need it. And even though when they go their way, I still get messages sometimes like, "Oh, I can listen to you telling me, remember, focus on the positive, right?" And that's the beauty of my work. That's amazing for me.
Yeah. Wow. I think, like you said, a lot of people are hesitant in the beginning, right? But
Yeah.
it really shows at the end, right? If you have that, first trust and faith, because a lot of the things that we're talking about is invisible, right? Especially with energy, with thought forms and mindset. It's not something we can touch, we can feel, that we can, like you said, measure. But it sounds like going through the process, right? A lot of people, they get amazing results and they're surprised by working on something that's not physical, right? And
Yes.
and that's the beautiful part, because you can, like you said, you can tap into it. You give them their own tools, right? Their energetic tools that you've taught them and that they can use for not only themselves but for other people as well. And I think that's,
And in different situations, which is the beauty of that, right? Because
yes.
sometimes people come from for, oh, I have this business situation at my work and my business, but then they realize, oh, I can use this in my family with my kids, or when I go out, I can use the same technique. So then they start using it in every area of their life.
Yeah, and I think that's what's amazing about when we use energy work combined with coaching, right? Because again, this is sort of my view. The coaching almost puts you on like a map that you can follow, right? And you're very conscious of where you're at and where you want to be, right? Because without that, I find like a lot of people just kind of, zigzag in and out. But also with the energy work part, right? With the tools, it helps us manage the stress that comes. It helps us manage, like you said, the situations, the family, the kids, the work, and it really gets us to that destination a lot more smoother, quicker, and of course more efficient. So, and I'm a really big fan of, your work and, the work of all different types of coaches, because I think that, it's a much needed support nowadays, right? A lot of people, you know, therapy might help them, and other, talk therapies, or, could be helpful. But really, what you're doing is really bringing it in all together, right? That holistic life coach part where you're incorporating all different aspects. And I feel like that's like a one-stop shop for anyone with any type of issues, because it applies to everything, right? It applies to everything, like we've mentioned. So so that's amazing.
Mm.
And now, and going back, I think that in chronic healing specifically, we use different tools, we use different techniques. um, to do this type of work, to do the cleansing that we spoke about. And I know also, Carolina, you're an instructor as well, so that's very awesome. So what do people do if they want to learn more about chronic healing or want to learn more about holistic life coaching? Do they, if someone's completely new, do they have to do like a lot of research first, or they should they find someone with a track record of doing healings and coaching? Like, what is the right way to seek the right practitioner for them?
Well, like everything in life, I think that like qualities attract, right? So it's important for you to get in contact with different coaches, healers, and see how you feel about it, right? Because it's the energy, right? If you feel receptive, how this person work with you. Normally, for new clients, I do what I call a power call, which is a 30 minutes one-on-one, so we can evaluate the situation, we can talk about it, I can give some ideas of how we can do this. So for people to see if we are a really good match, right? And I think that that's really important for everybody to explore, but to give yourself the opportunity. Because sometimes what happens is that one of the challenges that I overcome at the beginning with most of my clients is that they're looking for instant gratification.
Mm,
And the energy is like everything in life. It takes practice, it takes time, right? So I always tell them, if you go to the gym, you go day one, come back home, look at yourself in the mirror, what happened? Nothing. But you keep going because you know that is the right thing to do, going over and over. Maybe in a month or two you start seeing different people, see difference in you. Same thing happened with the energy. So if you are not sure, I will recommend you to start, try, commit yourself for 1 2 3 months to see how this manifests in your life, and then you can move on.
right. Yeah, and I think that, like you mentioned, you know, 50% of the progress is starting, right? Because once you start,
Yes, that's the
at
first
least
step.
you,
Yes.
yeah, at least when you start, you give yourself a chance for those improvements, for what you want to set in motion. And I think, like you said, finding the right um, practitioner, the right coach is very important that fits the energy and compatibility and, the goals. And if you see eye to eye,
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing when you seek any type of practitioner, whether it's in health, whether it's in other areas, right? You want to be like minded. And I find that's also very important. And speaking of that, I know you're based in Florida, right, Carolina? Okay. And do you do in-person coaching sessions, or do you do mostly online?
Well, I do mostly online because most of my clients are outside Florida, right? But I also do. I have a couple of clients that are here in Florida. Some of them, even we are in Florida, they in South Florida, they like the online sessions because it's convenient for them. I have other clients that I go to their office, so I'm like an appointment. I go there for an hour and we do our work, and that's it. Right? It depends.
Wow.
It depends
Okay.
on what they need and what they're looking for. We we adjust. We
Exactly.
allow the energy to flow and to make it happen. Yes.
Yeah. And what I love about that too is, it's very flexible. Same thing also when you do the energy work, right? It's very flexible too, because we can do it in person or we can do it at a distance, right?
Totally.
And
Yes.
I think that some people, I'm not sure if you see it with your clients, like, oh, you're gonna work at me through a webcam, through video, right? I'm sure you
Yeah,
get
yeah.
the, yeah. What do you tell those new clients? Oh, when you want to do the energy work them over distance or over the phone or over video.
Yeah, I said that the reminder that energy follow your intention. I know who you are. I know that I'm doing the healing on you. As long as you are receptive, you will receive the healing. That's it. So we start always with an invocation or with a to connect. So for them it's easy. Plus, uh, when you go to a coach at some point, since the beginning, at some level, you trust. So you have to trust, right? So they trust and they allow, and when they see benefits, that's it, done. They are just waiting for the healing part. Actually, sometimes they are like, I have some clients that sometimes they say, you know what, today I don't need to talk. Can we go straight to the healing? For sure, yes.
Wow.
Because they feel the benefit of the healing, right? But that takes time. and practice and experience. So that's why it's important to give yourself, allow yourself to try and
Yes.
participate fully when you
Right.
allow yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And and I think that I relate so much to that because, I think for many people they like try the first step and then something goes wrong or it's not as good as, they hoped and then, they start backtracking.
Mhm.
But with the power of coaching, it's awesome because there's someone that's watching you every step of the way and, been through the journey and seen other people go through the journey and it just gives them so much reassurance to
Yeah,
keep going and keep trying, right? Because
yeah,
like you said, 1 to 3 months, the results take care of themselves.
and
So
that's also part of the mindset that we keep working on it, because when you have a growing mindset, even though there is a step back or you today was not your best day, you understand that those are lessons to help you grow, right? So we are changing that fixed mindset that everything has to be perfect. What I know is what I know, who I am is who I am, to transform that into there are millions of possibilities, right? And it's okay. Sometimes we step back to go forward even stronger, right? But it's that understanding, acceptance of it's okay. We all make mistakes. We all are in the process of evolving, and we are gonna do better because of this experience. Because in reality, it's not what is happening, it's how you react to what is happening. And that's part of that mindset shift that we keep working
right,
on during this session.
right. I love those two words that you mentioned: fixed mindset and growth mindset. Right, fixed mindset is very rigid. It's like this way is the only way, or growth mindset is very flexible and, like you said, it's how you react to that situation, that emotion, that goal, whatever you want to do is so important because just like energy is fluid. Energy's always growing, right? Energy is always transformed. And it's when your energy becomes very rigid, very stuck in a certain place, as we know, it becomes hard to get things done.
Mhm.
It
And those
becomes
when
hard.
the challenges start is when you are so fixed in that energy, right? That
Yes.
I cannot, or this is who I am, or always been like this. But what about if it can be any other way, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I think that's a great point because a lot of people start in that fixed mindset, right? It's when they of course notice there's problems, right? Usually coming from a fixed mindset. My question for you, Carolina, is for people that are on, let's say, the growth mindset, right?
mhm.
Is there ever an end to the growth mindset when it comes to
No,
coaching? No?
not
Okay.
really, not really,
Not
because
really.
every day we are evolving. The goal is to become the best version of yourself. So every day we have room to improve in different areas of life. So you will never stop growing and learning and doing it over and over and over again, because that's also part of the energy.
Okay, I like that because that was a curious question for me. It's because it's like, I guess when you put your limitations to no limitations, right? You can
Exactly.
keep growing, evolving in business, life, relationships.
Mhm. I always
So
tell my clients the example of the onion, right? We are like an onion. You peel one layer and then another layer will come, right? So that's life. Day in, day out, you keep peeling that onion in different aspects, but that doesn't mean that it's going to end. You have to be happy. Oh, I'm growing. I already overcome this. So just keep going.
wow,
It has
yeah,
no end, no limit.
that's beautiful, and I will take that example of an onion forward with me on future episodes because I think that's such a great analogy to who we are as human beings in this lifetime and trying to understand life, make our way through life. But you said we have different layers that we need to work through, and part of those layers are growing too. So
Yeah,
we
totally.
should not limit the potential of that growth. So amazing, Carolina. So I think that what you spoke is today is so helpful for a lot of people because number one, mindset is a popular topic nowadays, but not a lot of people understand the true meaning behind it and how to really use it. And I think the things that we talked about today really help the audience build a foundation, right, to understanding that, but also a foundation for the different tools that we've mentioned, whether it's coaching, whether it's using energy work to really help, get them started and fast track them to their goals. So that's amazing. And then to kind of close, Carolina, if let's say, someone off the street just met you and
Mhm.
they found out you were like a holistic life coach and they asked you, like, what's one tip, one thing that you can tell them that can help them improve their life, whether it's any topic, what would you tell them?
Well, I will tell them to learn pranic healing, really, because it will change their life, right? But that sometimes that's too much for many people, right? So I will start with find ways to become more aware of how you talk to yourself, because that's the beginning. When you realize that, you say, "Oh, I have to do something about it. I have to find ways to improve this," and then the answer to that will be go into energy healing. My energy healing preference is pranic healing because it changed my life and it has a tool for any area of your life. So I highly recommend it. So that would be my
That's
advice.
yeah, that's such a simple answer, but and I cannot disagree with you.
Mm.
Unfortunately, I think that if people are open to it, jumping right into pranic healing is definitely, the best
Yeah,
way to go.
that's the way. Yeah.
Um, because there's so many things even taught in the first level class, as you
Oh,
know, as an instructor, so
yes.
many tools right there. You can start, fast tracking everything you want. But I loved what you said about that of the second part, right? Be aware of what you're saying to yourself, right? Be aware of what you're putting out there, because I really think that that is the foundation of it all to begin with, right? If you don't have the awareness that you're in this fixed mindset, that stuck mindset, you'll never
Yeah.
there's never going to be any progress until someone tells you right in your
Yeah.
face. So, and I think that that's something we teach also in pranic healing is awareness, right? Accurate perception, correct expression, which
Yes.
is one of the most important things that we practice on a daily basis, right? And
Mm-hmm.
we're all continuing to get better at it.
Yeah.
So amazing. So thank you so much, Carolina.
Thank
I've
you.
learned so much about, holistic life coaching, about mindset on this episode. And I really thank you for your time because, I think when I think about people in the profession that you're doing now, I think of you and you're doing such great work to not only change people's lives, but, help people help others change their lives, right? Because everything that we do here, it's always we're passing it along, right? We're passing it down. So that's amazing. And if people want to contact Carolina, I'll leave all of her information, all of her website, social media down below. If you have any questions for her, I'm sure Carolina will be more than happy to help answer
Super
those
happy to
questions.
continue the conversation. Whatever question, just bring
Yeah.
it up and we will find a
Mhm.
way.
Yes, and we last time Carolina and I met, we were at the retreat, and she was decorating this amazing piece for the Arhatic Yoga retreat, and I was seeing her. What is it called? Is it like the
But
official name for? Yes, the whole presentation. I forget
ah,
what
we, we
that's called.
we we call it a picture corner made
Okay,
of
picture corner.
balloons. Yes, and
Yes,
we did it with the theme of the retreat, which was healing, harmony, and hope. So
yes.
that's what it was.
Yeah, no, and I saw that and I'm like, oh my god, that's so beautiful, that's so creative, and I was in a fixed mindset of creativity because I thought to myself, I can never do that. That's so outside of my, you know, professional expertise. But, you know, thinking about the conversation today, I will cultivate more of that because I think
Totally,
as
totally.
yeah, as as we say, like any areas of challenge is an opportunity for growth.
And
So I'll
actually,
definitely take that.
if I may share with you, that business started as me looking for something new to do to expand my creativity and to use it as a stress relief. I love it.
Oh,
I get so involved when I'm doing the balloon arrangement that that's my stress part, one of my stress relief activities.
yeah,
It, it,
that's
it was just that, looking a challenge. I want to challenge myself. That's not my it was not my skill, but with a growing mindset, you know that everything you can learn. So you can learn new skills and then, ta-da, we have balloons.
yeah. Amazing. Yeah, I will put a picture on this video
Oh,
for everyone to see because it was so beautiful and I didn't know that. I didn't know that that was actually something you did on the side. So,
Oh,
and it makes sense because you were so passionate doing it, and I think you were all alone, and there's such a big piece, and I felt bad because I wanted to help you, but I didn't know what I was doing, so I just walked away. Didn't want to mess up anything. But okay, so thank you so much, Carolina. Thank you for all of your experience and wise words today, and I think that it really, really helped a lot of people, especially me. Okay, so my namaste, everyone. Thank you for listening, and we hope to see you in the next.